Clause. What is a clause? A clause is a group of related words. It contains a subject and a verb. Or in simple, we can say a subject and the remaining part of the sentence, which is considered predicate. I graduated last year. Here you can see I is basically what I is subject and graduated last year. It is complete part which is considered predicate, including verb and whatever has been mentioned in the remaining part. When I came here, I saw him. Here we can see when I came, this is I is subject and came is verb. And again, I saw him, I is subject and verb. Or in fact, after verb, we have him, which is an object. So after I, the remaining part is predicate. So here, rather than one, there are two clauses or two sentences. Types of clauses. There are two types of clauses, independent and dependent. When we talk about independent clause, so it is all about if a clause makes complete sense in itself and it is called the main clause or the principal clause or an independent clause of that sentence. And when we talk about independent clauses, in simple, we can easily observe series as a sentences. Those can stand alone and they don't have required some other clause or some other thing to be dependent upon. For instance, I have written an essay. Here you can see here, this part of the sentence is giving you complete sense, complete meaning. That's why we call it independent clause, main clause, principal clause. On the other hand, we have dependent clause. If a clause depends on another clause to complete its meaning, it is called dependent clause or subordinating clause. When I came here, I saw him. When I came here, if rather than adding I saw him, if I just ask when I came here, it is not giving you complete sense, complete meaning. Here your meanings are not clear. So this part of sentence is dependent clause because if you talk about this part, then we call it basically dependent clause because it needs some other part to complete its sense. He bought a car. If we focus on this part of the sentence, he bought a car. This clause is basically an independent clause because it is giving you a complete meaning. After it, the remaining part, if we do not use this part with that remaining part, so you can easily observe if I just simply say which was too expensive, cannot give you complete sense until unless you will add he bought a car. So the one which can stand alone, that is independent, and the one which cannot stand alone, that is considered dependent clause. Same in the next example, I know. I know is giving you complete sense, but when we talk about that he cannot do it. So that he cannot do it, this is the part which needs assistance to complete its sense. And what is that? I know. So this highlighted part from the red area, then upcoming part, that is basically your dependent clause. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. This is basically independent clause because it is giving you full-fledged meaning. Where he was born, this is basically dependent because it is not giving you complete sense. And for completing its sense, he doesn't know is necessary. So the highlighted part, the area which is in red and its remaining part, that is basically dependent clause and the another part is independent clause. If you don't eat, if you read, if you don't eat till here, so it is again not giving you complete sense. Until or unless you will add, I won't go. So this I won't go, which can stand alone, can give you full-fledged meaning. This is independent. And the one which cannot stand alone and which needs something else to add or complete its sense or meaning, that is called dependent clause. Let's check types of dependent clause. As far as independent clause is concerned, independent clause has no further categorization. But when we talk about types of dependent clause, these are basically the words or words that can join a subordinate clause with the principal clause are called subordinating conjunction. So when we talk about this part of the clause, which basically means something else to complete its sense, and always keep it remember, dependent clauses, they always start with subordinating conjunctions. So dependent clauses always starts with subordinating conjunction. And sometimes that part is also called subordinating clause. Let's check when we talk about dependent clause, how many types of dependent clauses we have. One is noun clause, another is adjective clause, and the third one is adverbial clause. So basically, there are three types of dependent clauses. One is noun, an adjective, and adverbial. And these three all type of clauses, in fact, join with the help of subordinating conjunction. They start with subordinating conjunction. And that's why sometimes dependent clauses are also called subordinating clauses as well. And there are three types of dependent clause: noun clause, adjective, and adverbial clauses. So keep it remember, when we talk about clause, clause is what? Clause is basically a group of words containing a subject and a predicate and functioning as a member of a complex or compound sentence. This is called clause. And when we talk about clause, there are two categories of clause. This one is dependent clause and is dependent clause. So independent clauses, they don't have further classification, but as far as dependent clauses are concerned, they have further classification, which we have already discussed, which we have shared: noun, adjective, and adverbial. Here I'm going to end my video. For further classification, I will move along with other different other videos. Thank you for watching the video.